Hello again, everyone. This is the technical analysis of the stock market video, Implosion. I was actually going to call it Explosion because we were so compressed last week, and I had a feeling we were going to get some tremendous expansion this week. Didn't get the huge expansion in the indices, but boy, we sure did in some of these tech stocks, especially the FANG stocks. And when the type of explosion we got was more of an implosion rather than exploding higher. So let's take a look at these, and we're going to first start off here with the Nasdaq. When you look over here, the change, it doesn't show percentage change and actual change because it's only doing it for the day, and then when it moves to the next day, it doesn't. The software is kind of quirky that way, so don't be confused by that. All right, let's take a look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq was down about 1.5% on Friday. Pretty big move to the downside. It actually closed below the trading of the last 11 days. All of the trading range of the last 11 days, it closed below it. Right now, I'm calling this as if we have the wave count complete. 5 minor waves up. That completes 5 intermediate waves. And if I can click on it, there we go. The 5 intermediate waves up. That completes the 5th primary wave, okay? And these long, big trend lines in here are the primary wave channel. Now we're in the weekly chart, and this is the view that I've got here on the weekly chart in longer term view of the Nasdaq, okay? So here's where we're at. Looks like a reversal type candle for the week. Of course, like any reversal candle, you need follow through to the downside. That's the picture. Watching this trend line here on the Nasdaq Composite, watching the trend line that connects wave 2 and 4, and watching to see if we break down through that, do we get below wave 4. So that's the picture on the Nasdaq, but it was even weaker on the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000 was down 1.89% for the day, so even more than on the Nasdaq or the Nasdaq 100. Those were really, they're kind of mirroring each other, really. This was down 32.02 on Friday, and you could see the huge cluster of activity. I kept looking at this. I had this marked as the high for the wave 5 high in here, and kept trying to challenge here on the 10th. Challenged again on Tuesday. Was Tuesday the 24th? Yes, on Tuesday the 24th, and selling just kicked in, and boy, they slammed it on Friday. Okay, so that's the picture. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. You could see we closed almost right on the low, 3 points off the low for the week in here. So I think that this is sure looking awful weak, and I'm watching to see this come on down further, and we'll see what happens this coming week, but that's the picture right now. All right, so talk about implosions. Let's start off with Facebook. Let's take a look at it. Of course, everybody's well aware of the fact that the earnings, the way it came out, and it was down, in the aftermarket, and maybe, over 25% at one point. Now, it closed on Thursday down 19%. What I think is going on in here is that we finally reached a first cycle wave high back here in January, okay, actually February 1st. And so since then, we're doing a big corrective activity, an A, B, and I'm expecting a C down. Let me go to the weekly chart to show you this picture a little bit better, okay? Here's what I think is happening. This is a big flat, okay? And I believe this wave B in here was a 3-wave move to the upside to mirror the 3-wave move we had here. Facebook has come a long way, and I think that it is time for some major corrective activity going on. Look at this weekly move that happened this week. Just huge. Okay, so that's the picture. That's what I'm looking at here on Facebook. I actually had this out when I was looking at this chart for weeks ahead of time. You could see how the RSI kept saying, well, I'm not confirming this move, but it kept pushing higher, not confirming, and then boom, it just took it all back. All right, so that was Facebook. Twitter yesterday. Let's take a look at Twitter. Twitter got hit 20.5%, 20%. Look at this move to the downside. Now, I had actually been, let me go to the Elliott wave move. I was actually expecting in here this to consolidate and push higher, and actually thought that we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, expecting a fifth wave. But what happened was, as I started to look at in more of the traditional technical analysis and look at what was going on with the wave, with the moving averages and everything, and how this continued to stretch out and stretch out and stretch out, it really raised doubts as to whether or not this was really still continuing to push higher. Now, there's still the possibility, I'm still holding this, that we've got a ending diagonal of some kind for this fifth wave. But that would mean that we got to put a second wave low in here pretty soon, pretty quick. Now, when you have an ending diagonal or any kind of diagonal, that's when, you know, the waves can overlap. Okay. In an impulse situation, always in a wave 3 impulse, you never have overlap between wave 1 and wave 4 and a wave 3. Okay, you just don't have it. So right now, this is a real possibility. We've got to watch and see, does any kind of you know, buying come in, any kind of support come in here on Twitter. So that's what we're watching on Twitter. Okay, so Facebook, Twitter. Let's just take a quick look at Amazon. I know Amazon had spectacular earnings, and everybody was very happy with that. And yet on Friday, with all this selling that was kicking in, look at what happened on Friday with Amazon. Huge move to the downside after gapping way up after the earnings. And so, you know, we closed at 1805. It opens at 1876, and then it just sold off for the rest of the day. Here's the 65-minute chart. I use 65 minutes because it divides the day 6.5 hours into equal bars. Okay, so you can call it hourly by 5 minutes. So this is the picture. I mean, it was just a major sell-off all day long. So don't really have a strong wave count. I haven't really put a wave count on Amazon in here. It's been trending higher. It looks very much like the Nasdaq type picture, like a peak here and getting a flat, almost like a running flat, and then a 5-wave move to the upside. But that's just, you know, just a quick and dirty on it right off the bat. Google, you know, Google had their earnings out at the beginning of the week, very strong. And then all of a sudden Friday had a weak day on Friday with everybody else. It was down 2.5%. But, you know, strong picture for the week. Here's the weekly bar over here, but you can see the selling that happened on Friday. Of course, Netflix was out a couple of weeks ago, and we know the picture there. So really, some people include Apple into the FANG, you know, alphabet letters in here. So Apple has their earnings out after the market opens on Tuesday. Opens after, what am I saying? Opens after the market closes on Tuesday. Apple releases their earnings, and right now I'm thinking we got a big ending wave structure in here, fifth wave. And I am watching to see, right now we had a lot of weakness come in on Friday, closing below the trading of the last 3 days. Let's see how the weekly chart looks. Yeah, it's not quite a reversal candle. It's a doji candle. You know, I'd like to see a little more. It's a potential reversal candle in here, but some weakness coming in. So right now, with, you know, you had 2 out of the 4 that have released. Apple's going to sway this one way or the other for the 5 FANG, F-A-A-N-G stocks. So it's going to sway it to the negative side or the positive side. Right now, I would lean towards the negative side. Let me see if I can zoom back out of this a little bit more. That's the picture we got here on Apple. And I think we're in an ending pattern. I talked about this last week, and we've continued to push a little bit higher in here, and that's fine. I still think we're in the picture, and that's just the way it looks at this moment. All right, that's it for this weekend. We'll see what kind of continuation we get with the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000 this coming week. All right, everyone, if you felt like the video was helpful, hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscriber button. And also there's a little bell down there that gives you notifications when videos are released. I am going to try to get back to putting videos out on Wednesday where I profile more of an in-depth profile of individual stocks. I know I had one on JD.com on Wednesday. And I'm not sure what I'm doing on this coming Wednesday, but I am planning to put another one out. So just be aware of that. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on the next video.